Home can mean a lot of things. It could be a physical structure, or it could be a frame of mind. Home is support, comfort, and safety. It is where you start and end your days. It is your home base, where you come from, and the place you always come back to.
So when I first started the PUSO Foundation in 2017, I had been working a full-time job for over a year. I had been going to work, going home, going to the gym, repeating, sleeping, etc. And I felt like through that process, I felt like something was missing in my life. Something that would bring me to my life's true purpose. And it wasn't that the job wasn't great, it was just that it wasn't for me at the time. And I decided to go ahead and start an idea of going to the Philippines to give back, a vacation that would allow me to give back. One day I went to work and I was telling a colleague of mine about my plans to go on this mission trip, and he decided to give me $20. And I was wondering, why $20? And he said, for your mission. And I was like, what mission? And essentially that idea prompted me to give this idea of go ahead and maybe potentially starting a GoFundMe and sharing my story with the world and close friends and family first about what exactly I had in mind and my life story. And I did that, and over the course of just 2 weeks, I was able to fundraise over $5,000 in the span of 2 weeks, and it led to a mission trip that allowed me to go to the Philippines for 2 weeks and be able to give back to communities in need. And when I got back from that mission trip, it was almost a life decision. Is this a one-time thing or is this a forever thing? And I decided the latter, so later that summer I gathered my closest friends, family, and folks who I believe could help me in this mission, and we started the PUSO Foundation, which stands for the Purposeful Unconditional Service to Others. My very first speaking event was at my alma mater, James Madison University. I spoke to college students about my mission trip and my goal to continue providing hope with a purpose. After attending more speaking events, meeting thousands of college students, and helping to facilitate fundraising events on dozens of college campuses, our college outreach program has grown to over 45 universities and has raised over $84,000 in 5 years. The college outreach program is one of the most important parts of the PUSO Foundation, and it was born at JMU, a place I called home for 4 years.
The PUSO Foundation was built on 3 pillars: college outreach, strategic fundraising, and service work. Since 2017, we have hosted fundraising programs, conducted mission trips, and delivered supplies to communities in need, both locally and abroad. We've hosted strategic fundraising events like sports tournaments, fitness boot camps, and a charity gala every New Year's Eve. The proceeds of these events allowed us to deliver medicine, food, school supplies, financial aid, sports equipment, and other care packages to areas all over the Philippines. We provided aid to areas affected by natural disasters, including supplies for those affected by an earthquake in Mindanao and 3,750 gallons of water for fire victims near Manila. We supported local communities through a basketball court renovation and 6 youth basketball clinics in Manila. We launched our partnership with Jollibee, which allowed us to treat hundreds of children without homes to fresh meals of their choice. We partnered with the brand Kahlua to raise money and provide scholarships to 24 kids in Mindanao. We pioneered our Wrapped in Love event, wrapping and delivering over 700 Christmas gifts for children near Manila. We conducted mission trips to the Philippines in 2017 and 2018, and in 2019 we provided resources for mission trips to the Philippines, El Salvador, Ethiopia, Liberia, and the Dominican Republic.
The first 2 years of PUSO were marked by rapid growth and profound impact. Over the course of those 2 years, we established a relationship with the International Organization for Migration, a subset of the United Nations, and they actually invited us to join them at a networks and partnerships conference in Geneva, Switzerland. Through that partnership, we were able to build a relationship that allowed us to work not only international, but to understand the international scale of giving back.
But in March of 2020, the pandemic hit and the world went into lockdown. The idea of home became more complicated. At home, we were safe from the pandemic outside, but inside, people were constricted, unable to work, and sometimes crowded in unsafe living conditions. Tourism ceased, and the local economies that depended on visitors suffered.
In response, we launched Swell of Hope, a program dedicated to providing relief to communities most impacted by the pandemic. Like an ocean swell is a series of waves caused by a distant storm, we were able to conduct fundraising efforts in the United States and provide aid across the world in the Philippines. Over several phases, we delivered over 10,000 meals and care packages to families who were struggling in Siargao. We also introduced our first sustainable relief measures like fishing supplies, seeds for farming, and recreational equipment.
As the pandemic continued, we provided other forms of aid as well. We delivered fresh meals to healthcare heroes locally and abroad. In the DMV area of the US, we raised over $22,000 and delivered 1,849 meals to 20 hospitals in 12 weeks. We delivered food care packages to hundreds of families across 5 cities in the Philippines within the first 2 months of the pandemic. We introduced Aspire to Inspire to digitally showcase upcoming businesses and brands through our social media platforms. When the capital of Lebanon experienced a tragic explosion in August of 2020, we launched a fundraising effort to benefit the hundreds of thousands of people affected. In November of 2020, Super Typhoon Ulysses became the 3rd typhoon to hit the Philippines in a 3-week span, leaving millions without power. We provided over 1,000 gallons of drinking water to Rodriguez Rizal, whose pipelines were damaged and whose water was contaminated. Our Manila-based team traveled 11 hours to deliver 750 care packages with life necessities to Ginabatan, Albay. When the Cagayan region was flooded by a typhoon, our Philippines team traveled hours to help 165 families there. We partnered with the organization Silid Aralan to provide educational materials to kids in Cebu City. We launched the PUSO mobile grocery store in Manila, where people in need could select goods from our market, including clothing and American goods, donated and shipped by our college outreach program. We completed our 3rd year of Wrapped in Love, and thanks to the 45 schools in our college outreach program, we were able to deliver over 3,000 gifts to children living in orphanages and underserved communities in the Philippines. We reestablished our partnership with the International Organization for Migration with a series of consultancy contracts focused on safer shelter building in the wake of natural disasters. And then in December of 2021, right before Christmas, disaster struck. Super Typhoon Odette hit the Philippines and brought torrential rains, violent winds, mudslides, flood, and storm surges to the Visayas and Mindanao Islands. The storm unexpectedly escalated from a tropical storm to a super typhoon in the last few hours before landfall, so many residents were unable to evacuate in time. Super Typhoon Odette was the 3rd strongest storm ever recorded in the Northern Hemisphere, and it made landfall first in Siargao, where one of our teams was based. The typhoon killed over 400 people in the region, injured thousands, and displaced nearly 3.2 million. Nearly 1.7 million homes were damaged, and among those, 415,000 homes were completely destroyed, including houses that were made of concrete. In the immediate aftermath of the storm, our team delivered drinkable water, food, medical supplies, and other survival necessities to over 10,000 people. Survivors moved into remaining structures for shelter, where they faced a health crisis due to overcrowding and the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic.
We learned the importance of safer shelters, both due to our work on the ground in Siargao and through our partnership with the International Organization for Migration. Additionally, we had a team established in the region who had been carrying out our Swell of Hope relief projects in the area for over a year. At this time, I recognized an opportunity to actualize a goal that I've had since starting the PUSO Foundation. I wanted to build homes.
And so in its 5th year of operation, the PUSO Foundation launched Hope Reframed, a project dedicated to rebuilding homes that were lost. The name Hope Reframed alludes to the project's origin and destination. We are metaphorically reframing what hope looks like as we transition from our Swell of Hope project in Siargao to Hope Reframed, and we are physically rebuilding the frames of homes that were lost to natural disaster.
Thanks to our program directors, volunteers, and donors around the world, we've been able to build 10 houses in the first 4 months of this project. That's 10 separate families, with women, children, people with disabilities, and the elderly who now have homes. But we don't want to stop there. As the months since Super Typhoon Odette accumulate and the months until the next disaster dwindle, the need for sturdy, well-built shelter intensifies. We plan to continue building homes through Hope Reframed indefinitely, and we need your help. One home costs just $3,000 to build. This money covers both materials and labor. We hire contractors in the area to build these structures, and so we are also supporting the local economies. But besides this, the PUSO Foundation is entirely volunteer-led, so rest assured that every dollar donated for Hope Reframed goes directly towards building these homes.
As we celebrate 5 years of the PUSO Foundation, we look at where we started and we consider where we want to go. We were founded because Robert Bañez went home to the Philippines to search for fulfillment and purpose. Our college outreach program began when Robert returned home to his alma mater to share his story and ask others to join his mission. We've spent years delivering supplies and life necessities to people in need, hopefully providing the positive feelings of home, of support, comfort, and safety all along the way. Then, when the pandemic hit and we were all forced to stay home, which didn't always feel so safe and comfortable, we adapted and found new ways to deliver hope with a purpose. We were excited to partner with the International Organization for Migration to educate the Philippine diaspora about building better shelters. And now we've begun our biggest undertaking so far, building physical houses through Hope Reframed. So when we look at the first 5 years of the PUSO Foundation, we see that in many ways, it's been a journey home.